it's the back of something, eh? And just thinking about that word, the word representation. And oh yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna leave that. Old brain, man. There's a doodle. Do I have to explain? Oh, for fuck's sake. There's a big nose and a chin and a wobbly fat under the chin and an eye and a bit of a character with, you know, a big brain, shells and threads and glue and on the top of my fire. So that's a doodle. That's a painting doodle. That's a scrap. Scraps. Scraps. Scraps is a good name for a show. Scraps. This is I did this David Eagleton poem. It was called Born Under a Rhyming Planet. When I say I did it, you know, I didn't get my pants off and sort of hump the pages or anything. I read it a lot. I listened to it a lot. It's a good poem. But yeah, I wrote it out on this canvas and tried to match imagery and sort of abstraction with the content of the work. And it was a little bit sort of painful. I mean, in that. So what you got down here is just like, you know, a fragment of what I wrote. Ultra Plus installed, price hustlers, etc., etc. So yeah, I cut this central bit out, and sort of me and this guy Morgan, who's into the tarot, sort of identified that it looked like kind of a winged sort of, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting, sort of a winged sort of spirit. So yeah, poor old David Eagleton's poem didn't make it in the painting. I should have not cut the work up, perhaps just as an archive, but as a painting, I couldn't really allow its existence to continue. Yeah. Because the words weren't natural it was contrived from the get-go. Like so much art is of mine. Can't speak for anybody else's. Yeah, so what am I doing? I'm compulsively fucking sharing. Bad artist. Fragments on the go. Yeah, so it was considering the term. Oh yeah, that's right. I was going to get a book to flick through while I rambled. It's considering the word representation, what it means, and not specifically in any context either. Nothing here makes sense. Being lost is part of it. Very true, very true. Tulpas. Do you remember me talking? Tulpas. So emanations from a high being. projections of the being, emissaries of the being, multiples of the being within the same time. Tulpa. Maybe a practical genetic example could be Genghis Khan, who is in more people on the planet than anyone else as a father, and so in a funny way, Genghis has extended his meme, his genetic material, his sort of energy body into the future as a tulpa. So that's, I'm not a Buddhist, I can't talk about Buddhist theology clearly, but that's sort of an extrapolation of the notion. And so the representation, you see, what represents the source, what represents the emanation, what, and then we're sort of dealing with issues of with identity, of is the emanation actually itself, or is it just a puppet of the source? And of course, this is a gallery context as well. It's just a Coke rep, a Coke representative selling the conglomerates wares and advertising services, and drink neurotoxin around the world and stuff. Coke rep, they represent another entity. They are an entity themselves, but they represent another entity. They're doing the company's job. They're getting paid, and they drive around in a nice car with Coke on it, and Nike on many people's feet represents the image, the ideology, the branding, the sense of identity, group belonging, groupthink, the security. So if you have a hotary, Maori Renaissance modernist, expert game player, Robin Hood, a form of tulpa, an extension of the energy body of the consciousness of the being. You have a piece of him. You are actually linked with an ideology and a history of the man. In a symbol, in an object, in a language. So it's information technology, I suppose. But the notion of representation of source and the rays of light, and what is light? Everything is made of light. So I'm getting metaphysical about the notion, and what did I say here? Let's have a look. The sheer violent rage of the child in me who was forced out of his body and life ripped apart. How do I reconcile soul retrieval of the angry small me with the gentle, calm, zen, God-loving me? At least when I'm dark and down, wounded and low, I'm reconnecting with the abandoned boy. Yep. This is a lyric. Trying so hard to be myself, I was turning into someone else. The. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, marketing, eh? Pretty hard. Pretty hard being soil in the garden. Telling other bits of soil that this bit of soil is valuable more than some other bit of soil. What are you growing? It's a lot of work. A lot of work having a soul, dealing with other people's souls. No one should have to deal with other people's souls. Everyone should deal with their own soul. Of course, it's pretty tricky in a world where we don't really have souls anymore. And if we did, the Vatican would own them on the stock exchange. Oh well, there's those kind of notions, and you've got to make a website, and you've got to not be yourself, and then you've got to be yourself, and where do you want to go with it all anyway? What's the point? Probably a revered, interesting person in a public context. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, that is a fucking really interesting to me, anyway, I'm not asking your opinion. All right. I think that there's a natural composition here which really pleases me. And I didn't do it. I set it up. It happened. And there's a sort of, I don't know if you can see, but there's sort of glowy orbs behind it. Yeah, so yeah. It's just one of a lot of techniques. We've all got a lot of tricks, I think being engaged with the content, in a lot of ways, sort of bypasses the need to communicate or be received. There's a trick involved in consciousness and being genuine, that isn't about image presentation. It's more about, shared truth, perhaps, of conditions, of psyche. It might be a poor person thing, I don't know. We're all crazy here. Let's enjoy each other. Here's one. Strategies against internet. Synthetic unconsciousness. Ethnosphere. White guy blues on a blue planet. Oh well. I'm really enjoying my dropout moment, and I'm thinking about the Gagosian Gallery, and I'm thinking about Anselm Kiefer, and I'm thinking about a little shrine room in the Tate Modern for myself, and I'm thinking about Basquiat, for God's sake. Who gives a fuck, I think you've won all the prizes if you can die with someone holding your hand who loves you, and without all that synthetic shit in your bloodstream that the vaxxers do to you, with your brain tumor, and your sudden heart attack. Sorry about that. You really have to get real. But, the mystery is still everyone's domain, regardless of getting there. And we're already there. This is actually the other side as well. Let's make the most of hell and try and think of the most high true God, the true God, the true God. You know, yeah, not the ruler of this planet. Anyway, it's a little bit Gnostic, I suppose. Yeah, currency translation.